Morning, how's it going, welcome to Randy McDonough channel, where I talk about all the cool music that belongs in your collection and cold beer that belongs in your fridge, okay? Your fridge. Got it. Woo! Alright, so yeah, today, it's around breakfast, so I'm a little out of it today, right? But, I got some, a little bit of a healthy drink going here. It's banana, creme de banana by McGuinness, and some milk, right? Sometimes they call it a golden Cadillac, but not quite, eh? I think they gotta use some kind of Italian liqueur in there to make it a golden Cadillac, but I'm gonna try my best, right? Maybe it's like I don't know, it's a Ford or something, right? Ford instead of a Caddy. Anyway, try it, McGuinness, good Canadian distiller, eh? McGuinness Distilling, and they make lots of good liqueurs, so give it a try sometime. Last. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about one of the albums that definitely belongs in your collection. Maybe a lot of you have it already, but if some of you young guys don't, really go out and get it if you're a rock fan, right? It was a game changer when it came out in 1977 in North America and UK for sure, absolutely. So you will probably already guessed. Never mind the Bullocks, but here's the Sex Pistols, eh? Okay, so produced by Bill Price and Chris Thomas, and there was some back and forth when they were producing. Didn't quite work out as well as they thought. Band lineup was Paul Cook, Steve Jones, Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious, but mostly Glenn Matlock on here. He quit, but they tried to bring him back to do the bass, and he wouldn't do it because they wouldn't pay him up front. He had enough of that band, eh? So anyway, here, I'll talk about the vinyl first since I got a vinyl version right here. Here it is. The North American version with the fluorescent pink and the fluorescent green. The English one was red on yellow, I think, eh? But we didn't get that one here, only import. So the back, the themes continued, eh? All the sort of kidnapping lettering, eh? Hostage lettering, right? Very controversial at the time, because nothing else looked like this. Everybody else was like long hair and beards, eh? It looked like Supertramp at the time, right? Or Led Zeppelin, all the long hair and shit. I like the long hair. I never cut my hair, even though I got this album at the time, eh? Everybody around me is like, what are you listening to that punk shit for, eh? It was like, that fucking punk shit, right? But I thought, have an open mind, eh? So, kick off the Grebs for a second, kick off the Kodiaks, right? And, maybe try something different, eh? It's not all punk shit, eh? So, anyway, opening the album, we got an inner sleeve, eh? It's pretty cool. It's got pictures of the band, of the guys in the band. There you go. Sid Vicious could barely play, but he was a spectacle, to be sure. There's Sid Vicious right here, on there, sorry. And, Steve Jones actually played all the bass parts, pretty well, because Matlock didn't want to come back. So he was actually pretty good at it, right? And he's turned into a great guitarist over the years, great style. So there you go, all the guys on the album listed out there, and I like how there's all these markers. Add somewhere on sleeve, copyright, the year, all that stuff, eh? So it's kind of cool. Kind of punky. At the time, this would have been radical, right? So many people have copied it since. Doesn't even barely mean anything. But you got to put it in the context of 1977, eh? It was disco. It was all those rock bands that were, just at that point, it just fried their coconuts, right? On drugs and everything. So these guys weren't exactly clean on drugs, but they had a different angle with them anyway. Vinyl's pretty nondescript, right? It's got the Warner Brothers and Virgin Records label at the time. They didn't have the big V. I don't know if you guys can see that, eh? But there's those two girls for Virgin and the Warner Brothers. That's kind of classic. But that was before they had the big V on the thing. So it's got all the listings. But Vicious is only listed in the songwriting credits for Holidays in the Sun and Bodies, I think. Yeah, that's it, eh? And the rest are Cook, Jones, Matlock, and Rotten. So if you've seen the band in their reincarnation since '96, it's obviously Matlock is Sid Vicious was OD'd after he murdered his girlfriend, right? So not a good ending there for that story. So the band doesn't have Sid Vicious, so don't expect him in any comeback tour soon, eh? But what else, you can say? I mean, they had a number one off this song. It was God Save the Queen, right? And next thing you know, it was number one. They weren't even allowed to show it in the BBC. So number one spot was blank. If you looked at the the ratings on the music at that point, eh? It was like a number one spot was gone, the rankings. So it was interesting. But I mean, the standouts. There's just so many songs on here. Pretty Vacant's amazing. Anarchy in the UK, Bodies, Holidays in the Sun's my favorite. Um, yeah, EMI. They're all cool. They're cool songs, but just get it because this was a shocking album at the time, and it really changed the game. It was a game changer, eh? For sure. Absolute game changer. Kind of like when they brought out Molson Dry Beer, eh? It was a game changer back then too. But here we go. Try and get it on vinyl if you can. It's almost cooler having the big artwork, right? Like I always say. But so much has been said about this album. In terms of live, I never saw them live back in the 70s. I saw them live in their reunion tours, down at the Ontario Place. What was it, Forum or Molson Amphitheater, like 96. Then I saw them again. They were both good, both times. Funny guy, one guy ran on stage and smashed into Johnny Rotten on stage. And Johnny gets up and goes, what a goddamn stereotype you are, like typical Canadian, because dude was dressed in a plaid stoner jacket, right? He looked like a lumberjack, and Johnny wasn't too pleased with that. And then he got up and said, socialism doesn't work, eh? So Johnny was being a little political still. So I know now he's an American citizen, right? So I hope he's still saying socialism doesn't work, because it looks like USA is getting pretty close to that sometimes, eh? But hopefully things will change because we don't want beer going up down there. I still like all the cheap booze I can get over the border, in the States. So we bring in socialism, that's going to go away. So don't do that. Here's to that, eh? But see what that album does, makes you go political. It was such a political thing at the time, even though there's no real politics in it. It was just the fact that it was so rude, and swearing, and the guys were swearing on TV shows over there and everything. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. And God Save the Queen, I guess she just had her 90th birthday, so maybe it was a suitable album to talk about right now. Okay, have a good day.